Today we're going over the 10 most fun vehicles to use in GTA Online. It's been a good couple years since I did one of these videos, so I thought it was time to run it back. Leave a like if you enjoy, consider subscribing if you're new, as only 25% of you watching this are subscribed. With that being said, let's get into it. Starting us off at number 10, we have the MTL Cerberus for $2,910,000 if you have the trade price, or $3,870,000 if you don't have the trade price. Now, that trade price is unlocked by completing the corresponding sponsorship tier in the Arena War career. So basically, if you're confused as to what that means, is that you're never going to unlock the trade price for this thing anymore. This is the ultimate vehicle to enact any sort of psychopathic tendencies you have upon the players and people of San Andreas. The Cerberus is easily one of the most destructive and chaotic vehicles in all of GTA Online, and it's a lot of fun to use. It has a flamethrower that can be mounted to the roof that dispenses fire hot enough to blow up cars, and obviously incinerate anything else. You can also equip the Cerberus with a jump that shoots it far up into the air, as well as a boost that propels it forward quickly. You can also choose from a variety of different proximity mine types that you can drop from the vehicle for an added bit of destruction or chaos. If you're going fast enough and you hit an NPC or a player car against a wall, it will explode upon impact, which can be kind of a lot of fun. The Cerberus is certainly a very fun vehicle, and I definitely recommend this one if you want to have some good times, but there are some more fun vehicles coming up ahead. At 9, we have the Declassy Tampa GT for $1,300,000 plus an additional $1,411,000 for HSW. Now, previously I would have recommended the Gauntlet Hellfire in this position. However, this car is significantly more insane and therefore fun to drive, albeit at a pretty big price increase over the Hellfire. So if you can't afford this, or if you don't have HSW available on your platform, just get the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire instead. The Tampa GT was added pretty recently into GTA Online, and it's currently the fastest muscle car in the entire game with a top speed of 166 miles per hour, making it the third fastest land vehicle in the game overall. The Tampa GT produces an insane amount of power, which is sent to the rear wheels, and therefore produces a pretty crazy amount of wheel spin and allows for extremely easy handbrake boosting, or double clutching as it's known in GTA, which gives a crazy acceleration boost and allows for some high speed, low angle power slides. The Tampa GT will allow you to cross the map very quickly and complete a lot of the HSW time trials with ease as well. It is a very fun car to drive. Up next, we have the Toreador for $4,250,000. Now, I don't think the Toreador is extremely fun in itself. However, it allows you to do a lot of fun stuff using it, so I guess it is fun. For example, I was thinking of the best vehicles to go exploring in the underwater areas of San Andreas, and honestly, I couldn't think of anything better than the Toreador. It's faster than any other submersible vehicle, it's more maneuverable, and has a boost that recharges underwater, as well as sonar, which can help you find underwater treasure and shipwrecks hidden around the map. Plus, it doubles as an excellent vehicle to troll Oppressor Mark II users with in free mode, while also being extremely useful and fun to get around the map fairly quickly. It has a top speed of 135.25 miles per hour when boosting as often as possible. Plus, it can take up to 6 homing missiles, 2 RPGs, or up to 5 explosive rounds. So it's a pretty versatile vehicle, and of course it does seat 4 players as well. And when it's out of the water, it also gets access to that crazy boost, as well as missiles and machine guns. It's a great vehicle, it's definitely a lot of fun. Up next, we have the Western Annihilator Stealth for $2,902,500 or $3,870,000 if you do not have the trade price. Now, that trade price is unlocked by completing the Cayo Perico heist as a leader while using the Annihilator Stealth as the vehicle. Now, there's really only one reason why I've included the Annihilator Stealth on this list over the significantly better Akula attack helicopter. Now, both of these helicopters have a stealth mode and feature either homing missiles or a 4-missile barrage as an optional upgrade, as well as the ability to upgrade either helicopter's performance with engine, handling, and armor upgrades in the hangar workshop. The Akula is also significantly better as a helicopter, it's much faster, but there's one thing that the Annihilator Stealth does that the Akula simply cannot do. Now, the Annihilator Stealth has a respectable top speed of 149 miles per hour, it can take 2 heavy sniper explosive rounds. However, it cannot take any other explosive damage and survive, meaning it's very weak. However, the fun feature of the Annihilator Stealth is that it gives players sitting in the rear passenger seats the ability to rappel out of the helicopter when it's hovering close to the ground. This feature, while not necessarily useful in most cases, is very cool and is a lot of fun if you have a big group of people to play with. For example, if you can get 4 players sitting in the back of the Annihilator Stealth, you can rappel them in to a rooftop, to a remote location, an island, stuff like that, which is really cool and kind of fun. At number 6, we have the Nagasaki BF400 for $95,000. Now, this place could have been filled by the Acid Lab delivery bike as an alternative. However, I feel like the BF400 is just better at doing fun things, like large jumps, bouncing off of one object to another. The off-road performance is also superior as well. Sadly, the BF400 has pretty much nothing in the way of customization, other than the ability to change the livery option on the bike. Luckily though, that is the only area the BF400 will ever disappoint you. This bike has an infinite wheelie, meaning you can always get that front wheel off the ground at whatever speed you're traveling, or you can keep it off the ground no matter how fast you go. Alongside this, the BF400 has a pretty awesome top speed of 135.75 miles per hour, making it extremely fast for a non-HSW vehicle. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the best off-road class motorcycle, let alone vehicle, in GTA Online for off-road class racing. It absolutely shreds, the brakes are awesome, it turns extremely sharply for a motorcycle, and the suspension soaks up bumps really well, and it feels pretty bouncy and responsive, which is great for stunting if that's something that you're interested in doing. Overall, this is definitely a steal of a deal and a lot of fun for only $95,000 out of your pocket. Here we have the Western Seabreeze for $850,000 or $1,130,500. Either way, pretty cheap, but the trade price is unlocked for the Seabreeze by completing 36 air freight cargo sourcing missions, and you will need a hangar to be able to buy it in the first place. The Seabreeze is pretty easily one of the most unique planes in all of GTA Online. While it might look pretty plain and somewhat boring, it's actually got some very cool features. Now, probably the worst thing about it overall is the look. Having the propeller mounted above the cockpit is definitely something that's a bit hard to get used to, but I got past it, and so you probably can too. It has optional front-mounted machine guns, as well as the ability to upgrade pretty much everything performance-wise about the plane. You can upgrade the engine, change the handling, and upgrade the armor. It has a top speed of just under 192 miles per hour, which is pretty quick for a plane, and the handling of the plane is very responsive, and it has a fairly tight turning radius. Now, to finally talk about the coolest and most fun thing about the Seabreeze, which is of course its ability to not only land on the surface of the water, but also the ability this plane has to completely nosedive at full speed into the sea and pop up right back out of the water. Physics in this plane would absolutely not get along in real life, but in GTA Online it sure does make for a uniquely fun experience that you won't find with anything else in the entire game. The Seabreeze is absolutely awesome, you gotta have one. Up next we have a drift tunable car, and the one that I recommend is the Karen Futo, because it's only going to cost you $9,000 plus the $250,000 for the drift tuning upgrade. Now, this is the cheapest car in GTA Online that you can apply drift tuning to, and it also happens to be one of the better cars to use with the drift tuning as well, which is very convenient. You'll find that the Futo has a surprising amount of customization if you're unfamiliar with it, and even fully customized, you'll have a really good drift car for only about $350,000 all in, which, considering that the next cheapest option will be right around $1 million, this is a pretty great deal. The Futo is pretty excellent for drifting around, largely due to the fact that the car is so small, which makes it a lot easier to avoid hitting objects like cars or signs littering the streets. Drift tuning is pretty fun in GTA Online. It allows you to effortlessly slide cars. However, it will take a little bit of practice to get good at drifting. Regardless, it is certainly a lot of fun to drift around with the Futo, and luckily, it's pretty cheap as well. Up next, we have the Pegassi Weaponized Ignis for $4,500,000 plus $500,000 for the HSW upgrade. Now, I honestly feel like this is one that probably doesn't need an explanation, but I'll go ahead and do it anyways. This is the second fastest supercar in GTA Online thanks to HSW upgrades, topping out at 145 miles per hour. It's got all-wheel drive and some good customization options, but the main reason it's so fun is because not only is it insanely fast, but it also has a minigun mounted on the roof that deals an absurd amount of damage to players and vehicles alike. It also comes with a missile lock-on jammer built into the car by default, which is awesome and absolutely necessary considering the car is over $5 million when it's fully upgraded. The Ignis has some good customization, it's got great handling, it's fun to drive, and that minigun is really just the cherry on top. This vehicle is certainly a blast to drive. At number 2, we have the Pegassi Oppressor for $2,057,669, and that's if you have the trade price. Now, if you don't, it's going to be $2,750,000. The trade price is unlocked for the Oppressor by completing the Mobile Operations Center mission featuring the Oppressor itself. Now, this was added back in June of 2017, and it's one of the more interesting and unique vehicles in GTA. The fun with this vehicle comes in the form of the rocket booster, combined with the deployable and retractable wings. These, in conjunction, allow you to fly way up in the sky and then glide around until you need or want to recharge the boost, which you can do by making contact with the ground with both wheels. Then you'll be able to boost and fly around again. This vehicle also has machine guns by default, but it does have an upgrade to have homing missiles, which can be unlocked by completing a bunker research. Now, not only is this thing extremely fun to use and get around and reach spots otherwise very challenging to get to with conventional vehicles, but it's also very fun to use in missions and PvP as well. This thing's a blast. I love gliding around with it. It is truly a really, really fun time. But at number 1, we have the Grotti Vigilante. A lot of people don't know it's a Grotti, but it is. This will cost you $3,750,000, and after some careful consideration about what vehicles I've enjoyed using the most in GTA Online, the Vigilante is at the very top of the list, and it's pretty simple as to why. This vehicle is purely fun. It has a massive rocket booster that propels it up to its top speed of 153 miles per hour, and that same rocket booster can also launch vehicles halfway to the moon. Contrarily, the booster can also launch the Vigilante extremely high in the air or forward very quickly, allowing players to cross the map very fast and even cross large bodies of water as well. The Vigilante also comes equipped by default with front-mounted machine guns that do pretty significant damage, but it also has homing or non-homing missiles as well. And the missiles for this thing are tier 1 homing missiles, meaning they're the best missiles in the entire game in terms of tracking and speed. The Vigilante is a bit of a glass cannon though, not being able to take any explosive damage. However, it can obviously dish it out very well. Needless to say, it's also based off the Batmobile, which is really, really cool, and you can customize it into any color you like. I absolutely love the Vigilante. Me and my friends do Manhunt in GTA Online, and it is my favorite vehicle to hunt with. It is absolutely awesome, and I 100% recommend picking up a Vigilante. You will enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching the 10 most fun vehicles in GTA Online in 2026. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.